Okay, welcome to the summer breakout session for credits for prior learning and testing. And I am Nora Covington, and I'm joined by my colleague Sarah Wehrle.
Hello. Nice to see you all.
All right, so a little bit of an introduction with some definitions, just because some acronyms get put out there and maybe people don't know what they mean. So CPL is kind of our umbrella term that we use, which is credit for prior learning. And then you also may hear PLA, which is prior learning assessment, which is under that umbrella. And then some college no credential is SCNC. It's funny, I've never said that in person. It's usually just in an email. So it's funny saying that. Um, and we always think as adult learners as non-traditional students, typically 24 and older with that some college no credential, usually have work family in their career, just have a lot of different priorities going on. So primarily it's how we can use CPL to help them with their academics and towards a degree ultimately. CPL defined process where colleagues recognize and award academic credit for college level knowledge gained outside traditional classrooms, such as work, military, or life experiences, saving students time and money by validating skills acquired elsewhere. It's assessing learning from experience to grant credit for certification, interest, irrespective of where or when it's learned, aligning education with real world competency. And then PLA, again, which is under CPL, are the standardized methods of evaluation that we use. Just a little infographic that we've seen floating around for like return on investment for the different parties involved. So obviously for adult students, it saves them time and money, beats spending thousands of dollars paying for a class if they already know the skills and they can demonstrate that they know the skills. 17% of these students are more likely to complete the credential, which includes degrees, micro-credentials, all those different types. Greater satisfaction with educational experience since it tends to be tailored towards them instead of just traditional classroom. Helps them reflect on past experiences. And then on average, about 25 college credits don't transfer. So this is a way for them to kind of recoup that transfer credit loss. And then for us, for the institutions, more likely to enroll to complete a credential. So we're gaining more students that way if they see that they're getting more credits. Um, take an average of 17 more credits than those without a PLA, those students. And then more likely to continue seeking degrees at higher levels. So if they finish their baccalaureate, maybe they'll move on to a master's and so on and so forth. And then obviously as a society, like a greater lens here, longevity, earnings, generational wealth, social mobility, all those types of good things.
Yeah, so, as Nora said, just to kind of add to that, we're really seeing this in real time with our students here as we're working with a lot of adult learners in our online programs, particularly now that the integrated professional studies is really, taking off. We're seeing a lot of these folks come with certifications, background, just work knowledge and understanding of different areas that equate to specific coursework. So it's really exciting to see those folks get some credits for things that they've already done, and they really just it seems to really motivate them. So we really are seeing that happening here at Oswego currently, and hope to see that grow. So we do see quite a few of those students now starting to come back with the some no credentials, as Nora had mentioned. This is just a really a SUNY-wide effort. I think a lot of institutions are focusing on this at this point. We all have heard that demographic cliff for our traditional students. That's upon us at this point. So putting focus in adult learners that just have not finished their degrees, and this is a huge population that we're trying to tap into and encourage to come back, finish their degree. And so I think a lot of our communication and marketing resources are going to start to focus on these individuals. And so that's really exciting to see.
Mhm.
answering the why are we putting so much effort into this? Just, kind of as mentioned, there is that untapped population out there that we're really trying to focus in on and bring back to the SUNY system. There has been quite an initiative for the PLA-CPL, starting with the campus action implementation plans that SUNY has enacted with all SUNY institutions starting in 23-24. We've been pulling together a lot of data, working with our institutional research department, registrar, trying to gather this information so that we can understand more closely what are the populations we are reaching, where can we do better, where do we need to, provide more informational, resources out there to get to our current students, also our, potential students, and then beyond that, in marketing to recruit people to come in and finish their degrees. So, this is a huge SUNY-wide effort. We're continuously looking at this and talking to, our partners within SUNY to, make this, project really fruitful and hopefully see a good number of folks come back and complete their degree. Also, the Title III grant, that we're taking part in is just an effort to increase retention and completion rates of existing new and stop out students. We hope to get this information out to our advising folks, registrar's office, admissions, so that they really understand this to the core, so that they know, is CPL an opportunity that can help these students, recruit these students, get them to stay, because it is a huge motivator. So SUNY Oswego at a glance, looking back at the fall of 2025, just because we have that data all secured and together at this point. We do have a decent number of adult learners, 645 out of 5,295 matriculated students. So we're looking at about 12% rate of adult learners, which we do see, increasing, which is great. And so we do want to put a lot of focus into these folks and really, make sure that they are feeling like they're being served and that their credits are being utilized the best way possible. And we're, working with them to take that work knowledge and trainings in various aspects of their personal and work lives to see if that can translate into credit. So. And just an overview from the 24-25 year, we're going to be coming out with the reports of our, previous academic year, 25-26, very soon. But this is what we're looking at, sort of a breakdown. I think a lot of people don't realize that AP credits, CLEP, those are all considered prior learning assessment credits for prior learning, IB exams. As you are hopefully all aware, we offer the Language Testing International, which covers the prior learning assessment for languages not covered by CLEP. So a wide gamut of different languages that help to, assess those individuals that have prior learning in a language that they should get the credits for, so they don't have to complete 6 credits potentially of a foreign language here. That's a huge motivator for them, and we are seeing those numbers grow. I certainly did this past academic year. Portfolio assessment, which is a continuing effort, which we wanted to kind of talk to you all about, and will in a little bit, about expanding that to more of our campus population as opposed to just our online students. So that's an exciting opportunity for all students across campus to complete the portfolio assessment course for additional credits to showcase their prior knowledge and learning in different areas. The ACE military training and occupations, this area, Greg Ketchum, myself, Ken Sisson, we're really starting to look very closely, even more closely, at transfer credits coming in from the military and JST credits, and with Corey Ayer's help, of course. And we're really trying to work with the faculty to sort of secure more equivalencies that are specific rather than just more generalized liberal arts credits, which sometimes aren't as helpful, as we would like them to be. So we're really, taking a specific focus on that, and that's a project that we're working on with SUNY as well. Certifications. If you are working with students, have a certification in something, whether it's personal training or something internet technology or computer science related, whatever it may be, please send that our way. We will review it. We will review it with the content area specialist and faculty to have that evaluated for to be equated to a specific course we have here at Oswego. And then certainly there is always other, things that are reviewed by faculty that we throw under the other category. So yeah, I mean the numbers are rising, which is great, and we hope to have those updated numbers out to the campus very soon.
As Sarah mentioned with the different types of exams, something that we haven't really mentioned yet is that we're also a vendor testing site in Sheldon Hall, and Sarah and I are proctors. So we do have a lot of the tests that we do for CPL at our testing site, but a lot of the students we've seen a trend, at least with our online students, they tend to do the online proctoring. But we do have a lot of on-campus folks and EOP come to take the CLEP exams to get out of that gen ed language, that type of thing. But what we award here is obviously AP and IB, which is International Baccalaureate, CLEP exam, LTI, Language Testing International, the METC, which is new. Sarah, I can have you talk about that later if you want to. That's kind of new for this year. DSST, which is Dante's exam. We mentioned the portfolio development course, and we'll talk about that later. ACE military exam or course guide, project management institution, institute certifications, Alex math placement, the computer science waiver exam, and then departmental prerequisite waivers based on departmental evaluations. And then the standards that we use, ACE is a common one that we use, pretty much a standard in higher ed. And then the National College Credit Recommendation Service. Obviously, these are nationally recognized, so we just use these as our kind of governing bodies when we're looking at different standards. And then obviously we need great advisors and great faculty and everybody to kind of look at different ways to help identify other CPL opportunities and to get the word out. Because a lot of students, as they're being advised, don't even know this is an option. And as soon as you say, this could save you thousands of dollars if you could take this exam, or, hey, I see you have this certification, maybe we could look at doing a inquiry to the department, see if you can get, credits for this. So I think there's a lot of good conversations to be had with our students about different ways. And even if it's not on our list already, I mean, we are adding stuff, I feel like every semester. So definitely more options for the future.
Excellent point, Nora. And this is sort of where that portfolio development comes into place because previously in offering the portfolio development course, which Marcia Burrell had developed and really honed in on and, adjusted so that it is, just a really wonderful opportunity, especially when a student does not have a certificate or they don't have a specific set of learning outcomes based on a training, but they know that they have a, learning set that matches, really nicely with learning outcomes of a specific course or subject area. And this is where Marcia in the course really helps them to break down what are, the examples from your work experience that you can show to showcase and highlight that you have met this learning outcome and this learning outcome and this learning outcome, and to develop that portfolio to show the faculty and those content area specialists that, yes, I do in fact meet all of these learning outcomes from these variety of experiences and knowledge that I've attained within my career over the last, 10, 20 years sometimes. So that's just a really great opportunity so that we are now expanding that. The course is being offered in the fall semester, and we would love for advisors to really start talking to their students about this opportunity, even if they are on campus and they're an adult learner, or even if they're a more traditional age, but they have the knowledge based on, various aspects of their life or individual learning or whatever it may be. We would love to explore that with them. Please send send them our way. Nora and I would be happy to talk to them about this opportunity and get them into the course. It does require our permission, and that just means we've had a conversation with them that they are a good fit. So we're happy to have that and need your help as advisors and faculty to identify students that would be a good fit for that course. And then as part of that course, their evaluation for the portfolio is done towards the end of the semester. And it is determined whether they'll get the 3 credits for that portfolio or the equivalent to the course they're seeking. After they've submitted this portfolio, they can develop additional portfolios with just a $150 fee to the student. Faculty that are evaluating get paid the $100 so that they're being compensated for their work and evaluation. So that's important for faculty to know that they will be compensated for their efforts. And then the students are armed with the ability to know how to develop future portfolios. So that's great. And again, as I mentioned, I'm kind of going out of order here, but industry certifications, those are more of the low-hanging fruit areas, which, the student can send me the certification. I look up the specifics, present that to the faculty and department for review. They determine based on, what is required of those certifications and how that might equate to a specific skill set. Just recently, I had a adult learner come in and he had, I think, 30 years of experience within the computer science database management area. He had a certification. Doug Lee was so kind to review that for us and was able to determine that there was an ISC equivalent course to that learning outcome of that certification. So that's just a recent example, but this is happening all the time. And so we just really want to increase that and increase awareness of that possibility and opportunity. Mhm. And then just some questions for you guys to ask your students as you're meeting with them and learning more about your students. And, you might identify that they might say something about, extensive work experience, that they feel like they have that knowledge, or maybe they mention they have a certificate or a license or military training, and perhaps they didn't, meet with Ken Sisson, our vet and military coordinator yet, and didn't realize that they should be submitting their JSTs, and just, kind of identifying any missed opportunities and, sending them our way. We don't expect you guys to know everything. We do want you to feel comfortable in, running it by us in extended learning. As the prior learning assessment coordinator, I'd be happy to take that on. Greg Ketchum, Nora obviously knows, a ton about this area of CPL and PLA. So please reach out to us. And just real quick, our Kale's credit predictor tool, we're piloting their standard tool right now, which is just sort of a quick questionnaire for our new students. And it's embedded in our online orientation, which is great because folks that feel like they meet that area of, interest because of their prior knowledge and work experience, they're completing this tool and they are able to identify whether, based on certifications and military and other, areas of learning, if they meet, as a good candidate for CPL or PLA. So more to come on this as we expand it to the general campus population.
And then just a couple student highlights. This is Alex. He completed the portfolio class in fall 24. So part of the class, he received broadcasting elective credits, and then he completed another portfolio to receive additional credits, and he was able to graduate early in summer 25. And then Jennifer here also completed the portfolio course. So she received credit for creative writing elective, and then did a second portfolio for GST 303, and then completed CLEP exam with Modern States. So Modern States is a free online course, essentially, that students can take. When they complete the course, they receive a free waiver to take a CLEP exam. So it's a really great option for students hoping to take a CLEP. And then just some resources that we have linked up here, and then also our emails as well. Sarah is like the coordinator, so she is a wealth of knowledge of different things. So yeah, let us know if you have any questions.
Yes, please, these are just resources for you to do your own research, but please reach out to us anytime you have any questions working with students. Maybe you don't have the time to really dive into it. Maybe you aren't really sure. Send them our way. We're happy to make an appointment with those students and really, dive deeper into these opportunities. And also let us know if you want us to, attend your faculty staff meetings, if you want us to talk and elaborate a little bit more about how this might align with your, faculty and your coursework and whatnot. So thank you so much, everybody.
Hmm.
Thank you. Any questions, Paul?
No, good job. And there
Yes.
were a couple bits in there that I hadn't exactly known, so good.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes, Paul, if any of your, faculty staff have questions, certainly send them our way. I'm going to be doing a little bit of a blurb in the next advisement meeting about some of these opportunities as well. So hopefully we can get to more folks and, send them the way to this recording and, I'd be happy to do further presentations more individually.
Well, I will be talking to any of the AP students that I have who have readmitted after being away for some significant period
Mm.
of time just to see, hey, while you were away, I know you wrote in your letter that, you did this or that, but just to let them
Yeah.
know that if they've done something that could potentially be equated to credit to, that we have people to get in touch with.
Yeah,
Hmm.
definitely.
Okay,
Cool.
thank you. I will stop the recording.
Awesome.
Thanks, John.
Thanks. And this will be posted sometime tonight.